Hello, witches! Grab your goat, grab a drink, light a bonfire, because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, indeed, witches, real witches, talking about witches in movies or witch adjacent. My name is Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from my podcast, The Witching Hour, from television, from YouTube, and as I always say, bathroom walls across America. And let me pass this on to my beautiful co-host, starting with the handsome Richard-Lael.
Thank you. I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two names. If I were merely Richard, I'd be a. That's right. I am known as the gentleman psychic. I'm a psychic medium. Used to be a psychic small, but I gained some weight. But I'm working on that. I am here in New Orleans. I am also well known from television and from this podcast, but also University of Magicus. I'm a little bit of everywhere. Also, if you would like to sleep with me, you can go right over here and join the coven. You can go to Mystery Control and get a pillow with my face on it. You can, at some point, we'll be able to get into Patty's panties again, but not right now. You can be a bro witch. You can get our books. You can get all of the things that we have. You go right there to Mystery Control. Also, hit the like, the comment, the share. It helps us to continue to give great entertainment for viewers like you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And the one and only Courtney Buckley.
That's me, Courtney Buckley, ghost bait on Scared and Alone. I am accompanied by Fettuccine, who you all have met before. And also, as promised, I see it noted in the chat, where's Jason? Did Courtney hex him out that bad? I did bring Jason's name in a jar, so have fun, Jason Mankey. The land sharks are coming.
Thank you very much. And now, as Courtney just mentioned, Jason is unavailable right now. He's been stuffed into a jar. And our beautiful Heather is off flying across the world right now. But we are not lost by any means. We have our two favorite regular guests. Let's take it down to Jenny C. Bell.
Hi, I'm Jenny C. Bell. I am the author of 2 books, not 10. I am the author of Spirit Crystals and separate book Divergent Witchcraft. And I love coming on the Movie Coven and being a beloved substitute teacher here.
Thank you very, very much. And again, the beautiful redhead Scarlett Amaris.
Hello, I'm Scarlett Amaris. I am a screen and television writer. I've also directed music videos and I've authored books, and I love to talk about movies and all things witch adjacent and witchy, and so I am thrilled to be here once again.
Thank you very much. And also a huge shout out to our behind the scenes Tabitha Meadows, our fellow witch who is goddessing the entire chat room for all of us. So a shout out to Tabitha. And of course, our producer, Rob and Christine, who are on the other side of the camera as well. So this weekend, today, we are doing Dancing at Lughnasa, a 98 film with Meryl Streep and all sorts of fabulous people. 'Tis the season, I must say. So hopefully you guys all watched it. But just in case you didn't watch it, before we go on a deeper, Richard-Lael, do you have a synopsis we can give about this?
I certainly do. Now, I want to be very clear with everybody before we get too far. Dancing at Lughnasa is spelled. If you're watching Dancing at Lughnasa, you are watching a completely different film, I guarantee. I promise you don't want to watch that film. I think I started watching that one, actually. I started watching something on YouTube, and I thought, my goodness, they have bagpipes playing the entire time. No, it was a pirated copy, and they were trying to make certain that they didn't get copyright restrictions. So the entire time that Meryl Streep is talking, it's I decided I would go and I would pay the $3.99 to rent it because I couldn't even concentrate. Anyway, so make certain you're watching Dancing at Lughnasa, not Dancing at Lughnasa, which is what I started to watch. this film is a great film that helps with depression. If you don't have it, you certainly will by the end. Great film told from the perspective of a little boy named Michael, who was 7 years old in 1936. He is now moved on. He's now an adult, and he is the narrator, and he speaks in intervals about this summer in 1936 in Ireland. He, Michael, lives with his mother and his 4 aunties. Now, if I were to say the names Jack and Rose, and one of them is certainly Irish, you might think I was talking about the Titanic. I am certainly not. I'm actually talking about this film. So, told from the perspective of this 7-year-old boy in retrospective, he lives with his mother and 4 aunties in an Irish cottage. One auntie, Kate, played by Meryl Streep, is a school teacher at a Catholic school. 2 aunties make money by knitting clothing, and his mother, I don't know how she pays. In fact, it's actually brought up, how does she pay for this boy? At any rate, everything changes in this summer because his Uncle Jack comes back from a missionary trip from Africa, from the continent of Africa. And this Uncle Jack is a priest, but he also is slightly controversial because while he was in Uganda, he learned to accept the spiritual practices of those living on the African continent. And when he returns home, he's supposed to deliver Mass, but the Catholic Church is not too happy to have a priest who also accepts paganisms, which, by the way, Lughnasa is paganisms. They have a festival every year where they dance and they celebrate to bring in the harvest. Anyway, so the uncle comes home, and then shortly thereafter, Michael's long-distance father has come back, and he draws the news that he is going to fight in Spain to help Spain retain their democracy. And meanwhile, there is rumor that there is a factory that is going to be built that will threaten the livelihoods of 2 of the aunties. The Kate character is threatened with having her job lost because her brother, the priest, is now accepting of pagan traditions. And in the end, we've seen this perpetual dance that they have. And in the end, the narrator comes back to tell what has happened to all of these characters and how his life had changed forever from that moment forward. And in true Irish form, Kate loses her job. The 2 sisters go to London where they die of starvation. His mother gets a job at the factory where she hates it for the rest of her life. His father does go to Spain, gets injured, and then just sort of writes on occasion, and then he just stops writing altogether. The Uncle Jack, the priest, dies of a heart attack shortly after returning home from Uganda, and they lived happily ever after on potatoes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Now we've got this lovely film. Now, today, she didn't have a scarf on, but Jenny C. Bell is actually going to play Heather Green with all the technical, the movie, the facts and things about this film. So passing it on to you, Jenny.
Thank you. And before I even attempt to fill the shoes of our movie goddess of facts, I'm told that we have a lovely little message from Jason. Couldn't be here, but he prepared something for us.
Well, hello, Coven. I'm sorry I'm not with you all tonight. My wife and I are rocking and rolling at a concert in San Francisco. It's a band that you've probably never heard of called the Old 97s that we just love. But that is not why I'm here. I have a little segment to talk to you about one of the greater Sabbats, and that is Lughnasa, which is, of course, a part of tonight's episode of the Witches Movie Coven. Lughnasa, or Lammas, is considered the first of 3 great harvest festivals celebrated in a lot of different pagan traditions. Lughnasa is an ancient Irish Celtic holiday and there was an equivalent version also celebrated in Wales. We don't know a whole lot about what the ancient Celts of Ireland did on that particular day, but the day itself was named after the god Lugh, who was said to be a god of many different skills. And if we think about agriculture, well, it takes a lot of different skills to plant crops and then harvest the crops and then process the crops. And so perhaps Lughnasa is related to that in some way. This day is also called Lammas, which means loaf mass. It's a holiday that was adopted by Christians and might have been celebrated by the Saxons before that, who were pagans and might have been borrowing Lughnasa from their neighbors. So today, when we celebrate Lammas, we tend to celebrate the grain harvest, and a lot of Lammas celebrations revolve around bread. Of course, you can make the holiday about anything that you want, and I think it's always really important to look at what is happening in your backyard. As I said before, we don't know a lot about how this holiday was celebrated 2,000 years ago, but in the Middle Ages, when they started first writing things down, there were a couple of things that happened every year around early October, and a lot of those were fairs, the payment of rents, elections, and the opening of public lands to people. And I think that a little bit of that still shows itself today. If you've got a county fair or something, it's probably an echo of an ancient Lughnasa or Lughnasadh celebration. People say this day in many different ways. This holiday is usually celebrated on August 1st, though there are a couple places where I see it as being listed as August 2nd. Today's August 5th, so we've sort of missed it. But if you're one of those pagans or witches who celebrates the Sabbats astrologically, you're probably about right on time. I don't, so I'm not sure exactly what the day is, but it's usually between now and August 7th. Anyway, Sabbats are more of a season than a particular day. But that's about it. That's our little couple of seconds about Lughnasa. Not me being funny. I hope that everybody is having a great week and a great Wednesday night, and I will see you all soon.
I love that. Thank you, Jason. So we were on the same wavelength because I knew I couldn't really be Heather because she is just such a wonderful spirit to try to embody. So I'm doing some movie facts and some. I've always said Lughnasa. And then I'm hearing Lughnasa in the movie, and then I'm hearing new witches say Lughnasa. I just want everyone to know we're doing our best. Those of us that learned pre-internet, we couldn't Google how to pronounce things. We had books, and we stumbled, and we stuttered, and we said to our friend, "Does this seem right?" And they said yes. And so here we are. It's ingrained. It's Lughnasa for me. Okay, so some things you need to know about the movie. First, it's based on a play. And when I was sharing in our coven that we were going to be doing this movie, and I was like, I'm so excited to watch it. It looks really cozy and kind of sweet. And someone was like, no, I saw the play. Have Kleenex near you. It's devastating. And so I didn't think the movie was devastating, but I think the play is more so. The play is also partially autobiographical. So our little Michael that was based on a true story of the author, Brian Friel, who stayed at his aunt's house at the age of 7. So we have some truth there. It does feel very real. Very realistic, the story, because it kind of meanders. Our biggest star is Meryl Streep, and she plays Kate. I thought I knew of all of Meryl Streep's movies until today. So that was interesting. People will probably recognize Michael Gambon. he's in a lot of Wes Anderson movies, so that's how I know him, as well as he did a lot of Shakespeare. He's Father Jack. Sophie Thompson plays Mathilda Hopkirk in Harry Potter. And she's also the sister of Emma Thompson, who played Professor Trelawney. So people probably also recognized her. I'm sure other people recognized other people, but those were the three that I noticed. When I did some research, this movie cost $21 million to make and brought in about $2 million. So not the best. This is 1998. I think Practical Magic also came out in 1998, if anybody remembers. But I feel like there's some reasons behind that, and we can get into that later. On to our Lughnasa facts, as Jason already talked about. It is part of our Wheel of the Year. And I personally This is a cross quarter day. So for people that are totally new to the Wheel of the Year, it was something that's like reinvented, put together by neo-pagans and Wiccans. They kind of put a bunch of European holidays together and were like, this is our religion now. And we kind of celebrate them. It's the first of our harvest seasons, and it's a cross quarter day, meaning that it comes between summer and fall. And I totally agree with Jason. I'm actually currently writing book number 3 about celebrating the Sabbats seasonally. So we are in the season. If you did not do anything with like a corn doll or any kind of harvest celebration, it's not too late. You can just jump in. And then Jason mentioned it's named after the god Lugh. And I have Deborah Blake's Deities book here because she's more of an expert than I am. And she said that Lugh is the Celtic sun god. He's also known as the patron god of craftsmen, as well as being a mighty warrior. He's Lugh of many skills. And in the movie, the aunts do knitting, and then there's dancing. And so there's this crafting. They also all really love movies or music. So it definitely connects with him. Lugh embodies the power of the sun with its life-giving energy. So those are some movie and Lughnasa facts.
I've always said Lughnasa as well. I was going, is it Lughnasa? Have I been saying it wrong my whole life? I don't know. Like, you're right. The internet, old witches. I don't know.
What do you say, Scarlett? How do you pronounce it?
I always say Lughnasa. That's how I've always, and I've heard it that in Europe too. Like, I've spent a lot of time in Ireland, and yeah, I've always called it Lughnasa.
Maybe it's their Irish accent. Oh no. Anyway, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's go there.
I kind of feel this, like, it doesn't, as long as you know what it is, like, if you're a little bit off in the pronunciation, who cares? It's like how people say Hecate, like, that doesn't bother me when the Greek pronunciation is Agate, like, whatever, as long as you're there and you're interested in it, that's what matters most of all.
Thank you. One of my favorite parts, I just want to say, because when I was last year or the year before, something like that, when they were digging in the dirt, that was the peat, that was the 10,000-year-old peat. I forget what they called it. Oh gosh, it just left my head. One of my prized possessions of life, and I didn't literally dig it out, was they gave you this, and it's they've been digging it up for it's like the bog, it's the peat. They call it the turf. They call it turf. The turf. Yeah. And just seeing how those women were out there and those people were out there digging it up, because truly, I got a brick about the size of a brick of this beautiful organic farm far in the middle of nowhere, Ireland, that had fairy hills, it had fairy mounds, fairy trees, sheep, dogs, horses, everything. And our prize going home was having a brick of this. And I've taken little tiny peats. I've used it for magic. It is so powerful and so magical. And I was looking at the miles and miles and miles of blocks. It just made me so happy, because now I know how it comes up, how it got dug up. So that made me so happy. Other than that, it was a beautiful film. Beautiful film.
Did you, when you were in Ireland, did you have a peat fire? Because like I've spent a lot of time in rural Ireland, and we would build the peat fires, and peat smells so good. Like, it has a very distinct burn.
Yes, we did just before we left, and it was beautiful. That's the place, literally, that I had a total fae experience, total, like no other. We were there. We got permission. This guy, he's an organic farmer. We went under the fairy tree, and it was a total psychedelic experience. Then I came outside, and I was looking. Literally, on my right side was this beautiful horse, astounding. On my right, on my left was a cow, and in front of me, about 100 feet ahead, was the fairy tree with about 15 people at it who were on my little magical group. And I'm looking, horse on my right, cow on my left, people and tree in front of me. I'm like, I am the luckiest girl in the entire world to get to experience this. The green rolling hills. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes, and the tree was gone, And now the horse was on my left and the cow was on my right. They had not moved. The Fae had literally picked me up, turned me around, and set me down 180 degrees different without me knowing it. It was the coolest thing absolutely ever. And we were great. And then we were standing, it had been kind of misty and rainy. And the woman, our tour guide, who's Irish, born and raised, we would go into a pub and her adult children who lived there would show up with their antique Irish and they'd go singing throughout the rest of the night. Anyway, she did traditional Irish singing. It was a little bit misty and a little bit rainy. She was standing under another tree right by the fairy mound, and she's singing this beautiful Irish song. The sun breaks through the trees. Butterflies appear. It was a movie. It was like the best special effects movie you had ever seen. So this one day in Ireland gave me all of the Ireland magic in one fell swoop, other than being turned around 180 degrees. So, and the peak. So this movie just warmed even as hard and sad as it was, warmed every cockle of my heart for the land.
It was beautiful. I will say it was filmed so beautifully. It was acted so brilliantly. And I feel like that in and of itself is the magic. When Kate comes to the window and she's lonely and she has nobody and you feel it. When her sisters are gone at the end and she takes that pillow and it's this visceral, oh, Rose, Rose, Rose. You feel it. When the Uncle Jack, when Father Jack he sees the fires and he goes and he says, "Is this Africa?" Because in his mind he feels like he's back where he became accustomed for 25 years. No, it was acted so beautifully. It felt very real. The magic was real. The family unit was real. And I loved the fact that I don't mean to step on Courtney's toes with quotes, but when I don't remember which sister was singing, and she says, "Oh, well, if you knew your prayers as well as you know those pagan songs, oh, I am holier than thou. I am." She has that realization of, oh, I'm taking all the fun and joy out of this moment, and that's all I have. Beautifully done, beautifully acted, beautiful.
And her accent, Meryl Streep is the most amazing actress anyway, and one of my favorites. I think she did so good I couldn't imagine trying that accent, authentically.
And, the other thing is, what I find to be so fascinating with Meryl Streep is that I don't remember a few years in either direction. She was in Death Becomes Her, where she was so glamorous and beautiful and like a Hollywood actress. And in this film, she was so matronly. And it was just a few years. Beautiful transformation. Beautiful.
Who wants to jump in?
Courtney's so quiet.
Because I feel like I watched a different movie.
I do too. I'm gonna let Courtney go first.
I think it's beautiful, all the things that you just said, Richard-Lael, and I wish that I could have gotten that from it. I felt nothing because I was bored to tears and I could not. I played a game. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I played this game. I have two computer screens. I had the movie up on one screen, and the game that I was playing is about fairies who come into the arcane library and throw all the books on the floor. And your job is to pick up each book and put it exactly on the shelf where it goes. And there's like 3,000 books that are on the floor that you have to pick. I was more interested in organizing books than paying attention to this movie. It was painful, and I love Meryl Streep. I wanted this to be like Little Women, almost. Like, I loved Little Women, and I wanted this to be like a pagan, witchy Little Women, and I don't think it was. I didn't feel connected to any of the characters. I feel like I sat through an hour and 34 minutes of nothing happening, and that's that's it. I didn't like. I didn't feel anything for any of the characters. I never got attached to any of the characters. It was just like what, like I could not understand what was going on the whole time, or like not even what was going on, because I don't really think anything was going on, but that that why was I watching it still? Like, what was the point of this? So I'm sorry, but
maybe because you were playing the game.
no, I was playing the game because my eyes could not stay on it.
No, I'm gonna jump to Courtney's defense, because I had a similar feeling. Like, it started out like a Merchant Ivory film. I was like, okay, cool. I love anything that's beautifully shot. I usually have a very high tolerance for, like, I love Russian cinema. I have a high tolerance for slow moving, and it's just nothing happened.
Thank you.
Nothing happened. Even when she's like in the boat and he's rocking the boat, and I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting moment. Okay, that's an interesting moment. But it never connected to anything. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they died. And she took a job forever that she hated. And I was like, why are you ending it like this? Like, I just suffered through an hour 30 of this, and now you've just destroyed me. Thanks so much. I'm going to go crawl under a rock now. I think probably it was better as a play, but
yeah.
Like, wow. I love Meryl Streep as well. And I do think that it was beautifully acted. I can see why it only made $2 million, and it was so expensive. Like, there was something just emotionally missing from it. Like, it was so dour. And, even the pagan scenes seemed very out of character. Like, yes, they're all drinking poteen and they're all like jumping through this fire with the masks, and then I found myself being like, did Ben Wheatley steal those masks for Kill List? And like, it didn't connect. And I wish that they had like delved more into the missionary brother coming back from Africa and what he was into, because there were a huge amount of people that came from Africa at that time that had documented various tribes, because those tribes were still around. So like, that was a little bit of a missed opportunity as well. I didn't hate this movie. I can't say, oh my God, it's bad, because it's not bad, but it's incredibly boring.
I see. It was late night after 4 days in New Orleans, and it was like not the film they usually want to watch. That should have been the shark film, but I actually did stay awake, so that's pretty good. It was hard at times, but I did. Why do you think 21 million? That must have been salaries, because it wasn't like there's a bunch of special effects. They had kind of location. That must have been.
There was some expensive camera shots, it felt like.
There's really expensive camera shots. There was a lot of cranes in that. And this is like before your drones and whatever else. There's a lot of beautiful crane shots. A lot of expense went into shooting that, for sure.
Yeah. It was beautifully filmed.
But
like just kind of muted. Is that like a good word? I feel like there's like the volume got turned down. Like, it could have been more. And then it was so weird how it was like the ending. It was just like the ending was like the climax, and the ending is on the little boy's story. Like, instead of showing us those things, it was like, and then all this tragedy and end scene. And it was like, gosh.
Well, that's the thing that everybody remembers, is the ending, because it's the only really truly tragic thing that happens in the movie.
Or the only thing at all that happens in the movie.
I will say that
I feel like. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have to agree with Scarlett in the sense that, like, I love a slow day. I have been known to watch a movie that's 2 hours long and feel like it wasn't long enough, because, like, Sinners. I could have watched Sinners. I could have watched a cut of Sinners. Right, because I was emotionally invested. I cared about the characters. I cared about all the things. And I did not give a flying you-know-what about anybody in this movie. So the hour and 34 minutes felt like 5 hours of just, like, I should have watched paint dry. So, I mean, that's the thing, is it definitely was missing something. Like, there was no payoff other than the fact that it was like, oh, great, everybody died. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't spend an hour and 30 minutes caring about them. Like, it just, I don't know.
I will say I
was
stayed
rough.
awake. I did not fall asleep in this one. I watched it this morning, and I only skipped ahead like 10 times. 10 seconds at a time, like 10 seconds at a time. Okay, I don't need to know what that happened. Okay, 10 seconds, like 10 times. So it was a slow burn. It was beautifully shot. It was beautifully acted. But I will agree with you. Now, end of show, everybody. We it was incredibly slow. I can see why it only made $2 million out of the $21 million that was spent. I really would have liked there to have been more investing in Uncle Jack. I think that was a beautiful, brilliant story, and I think that he was quite intriguing and progressive as an Irish Catholic priest who, instead of condemning the tribes in Africa, he enjoyed their presence. He joined them in their sacrificial rites. He joined them in their dances, and I think that was the more interesting story. And I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Also, if you're going to call a movie Dancing at Lughnasa, show Lughnasa. No, don't show like a weird version of belting. Like, where was the Lughnasa other than maybe the reed mask thing? Like, where was it?
This is blood orgy of the she-devils all over again, because there was neither enough blood or enough orgy in that movie to call anything. So
Yes.
No boobs, no butts,
0, not enough.
and butts.
I
But
kept
there was a
watching
radio.
Go ahead.
Radio that was its character in its own.
Yes, the radio was Lugh, right? That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And they got it to work that one time, and they all danced in revelry.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Our producer says, "Room without a view." Clever, very clever.
What? I love Room Without a View. It's a great film.
All right. Have we completely discussed this movie in 30 minutes or less?
I would like to say I love this comment from Oceanus. All Irish films move slow like a Fellini film because nothing ever happens in Ireland. Realistic pacing. Love that. Okay, well, you know what? Then I take back what I said. That's fair. And I had an Irish.
It reminds
experience
me,
when watching
my
this
mother
movie.
read a book when she was years ago now. It was called Angela's Ashes.
Yes, I was
And
going to
it took place in Ireland, and basically Angela ends up by being cremated at the end, and her book never gets written. Ironically, my mother always wanted to have her book written, and then she gets cremated and her book doesn't get written. Anyway, so she wanted Angela's Ashes, and sadly she got it. But Irish stories, they are a little fatalistic.
Oh, they're absolutely dour. I can remember being in Ireland one time and in this small village called Drimoleague. And it was during the winter, going down this incredibly dour village, and it says, oh, it was revamped like 2 years ago. And I was like, I don't want to see what this looked like before that. And the power had gone out, and I was like, all I want is a coffee. I just need a coffee. Like, somewhere has to be open for a coffee. And I see a light up in the window, and I'm like, yes, it's a coffee. And so I make my way through this small village to this one light in the window, and there's a body lying there. Like, a body. It's awake because it's Ireland. And like,
They have coffee.
like Ireland is dour. Where I was staying, people drown themselves in the bog constantly, and it was like a foot deep. Like,
Don't say constantly.
You had to work hard to drown yourself in the bog.
Well, I like what Mary Jane said. Been to Ireland? Anybody? The Irish are really boring unless they are drinking,
Or drowning themselves
Or they're
in the bog. Like, I think that's the
That's
t-shirt
actually true.
for tonight. Constantly drowning themselves in the bog. Like, I want that tattooed across my forehead. That was so fun.
With travel to Oregon or travel to Ireland, constantly drowning themselves in the bog. Oh my gosh. I was going to say that I've read a lot of Frank McCourt. He did Angela's Ashes, but he also did Teacher Man and Tis, and those are hilarious. So, like, the Irish are also really funny. Like, my favorite uncle, Billy, who passed away, he was the funniest of all of my uncles, full-blood Irish. There was, I think, some attempts at, like, sad humor in this film. But, yeah, I just kept thinking, like, is it me? Am I desensitized from modern movies being so, like, what my husband will term it as whiz-bang? Like, all the rock music and the quick cuts. And am I forgetting what a slow film is? Like, I kept questioning myself, but my son came in at one point and laid next to me for like 5 minutes, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is so boring.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And he's like, this is so boring. And I'm like, okay, friend, you can go now.
But like, that's the thing, is I could watch a in the life of someone if they were someone worth watching a movie about a day in their life. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything special. But if they were an interesting person, or like I felt connected to them in any kind of a way, I don't care that they're not doing anything. I'll still watch that movie and I'll root for them. Like, none of these characters were anything. Like, they're not memorable. I don't remember any of their names. And like, even though I was playing the game, that game doesn't take all my attention. Like, I was so bored that I couldn't HD was like 90 HDing, and I had to do something while trying to consume this in any way, shape, or form. It was a lot.
I cannot wait for your quotes, Courtney.
I know.
Wait.
Well, I barely have any. There was a okay, I have been stressed about this for 3 hours, because what am I supposed to say when they didn't say anything?
They talked the whole time. And dancing
and said nothing. And said nothing.
I just look at the pain. I mean, it was pain. Like, the poor girl who was in love with the married guy, the wife is gone and she couldn't be with her lover. Just tragedy.
But he was creepy.
It was creepy.
Yes.
But tried to kidnap her.
He did. He tried to
stop choosing the man.
Her in the canoe.
Right.
Other than that,
we choose the bear or the shark. We choose the shark, not the man that tries to drown us in the bog.
and Lisa Parker going, yum, Irish food. I wasn't crazy about Irish food.
Oh.
No,
I've never heard anybody say that before. No offense to the Irish, but I've never heard anybody say Irish is my favorite.
wasn't crazy about Irish soda, but anyway, well, since we've talked out this film, we'll go with your lack of quotes, Miss Courtney.
Okay, well, Richard-Lael stole one.
Say it again. Just say it again. No, say it again.
No one will. No,
because
hold on. Because the only other one, I didn't write that one down, but I remembered it kind of, and I was like, and then I didn't feel like going back because I'm too upset that I spent $3.99 on this movie. I didn't feel like going back. So thank you for taking it over. The only other one I have is when I think I've come home to die. And one of the other people says, Jesus, don't. We can't afford to bury you. And then nothing else. They said nothing else.
They could have just thrown him in the bog.
For real.
Right. Well, but now we know about the bog. So I don't understand. I understand this movie even less, because you know what I'd watch? I'd watch 3 hours of people drowning themselves in the bog. That's what I'd watch. And I would not have played a game during that movie, because as a self-proclaimed bog witch, that's what I wake up looking like sometimes. Like, I would watch that. That would be so great. This movie is like, I don't know, a toilet.
I love that you guys are complaining about spending $3.99 on it, and I was like, damn, I had to download the Roku channel. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I was like, I had to get Roku for this because it was free on there.
Oh, great. Good to know. I'm so glad. I've never been more mad actually right now than
Not even at Jason? You've never
I'm-
been more mad than at Jason?
no, I'm not mad at Jason anymore because he's in my jar. So I've channeled all of my Jason
Why did
anger
you
in there.
Why did you hex
But-
Jason? What happened?
Because last week was Shark Week, and my special interest is sharks, and it always has been since I was 2. And Jason said that that Shark Week is not a real holiday, and that people who celebrate Shark Week are like whatever he said, I don't know, bad things. So I told him he was dead to me, and I was putting his name in a jar. And I'll have you know that Nathan get a chance to do it, but Nathan and I had a plan, and we were going to make a video of putting Jason's name in the jar to premiere, and he even bought a shark onesie, and we were going to go to the lake so he could emerge from the lake in the shark onesie, and we just didn't get a chance.
It's not too late.
Yeah, I was just saying there's always.
But that's how mad
Right.
I was at Jason that I put in all of that effort about that, and I'm still madder that I spent $3.99 on this movie.
And Shark Week exists because of us neurodivergent people. That's why it's a
Correct.
holiday.
Thank you.
We made it a holiday with our special
Yes.
interest in animals and animal facts.
Yep, and my special interest was wildly on display last week as I got to recite all of my favorite shark facts and get in arguments. And all I've been doing, that's what I fall asleep to. And my new reptile, my bearded dragon, he likes to watch Shark Week after mom and dad go to bed. So that's what he likes. And that's what I like because sharks are my favorite. And that is my special interest. And that's why I still have the shark over here. And I almost also thought about wearing the shark onesie on the show today. The hood is the shark. I might do that next week to surprise Jason when he's back.
It's always Shark Week for you, Courtney.
It's shark life. I have shark tattoos. I have sharks all over the house. Here's my IKEA shark. He's still back here. I have shark license plates. I moved to a different state and I haven't given up my license plate yet. We cannot bear to get rid of plates, so it's terrible because I love the sharks and I have not been shark hunting
I think
once this year, and so for Jason to say back now, for Jason to say that Shark Week is not a real holiday, and what is this movie? Okay, so this movie
This
is
movie's
not real.
about a real holiday.
Right, but I'd rather than watch this.
For
I'd rather
$3.99.
celebrate. Right, and, I'm so mad.
I would never
I'm
watch
mad.
it again. I would never, ever, ever watch it again. I would never, ever, ever watch this film again. However,
Mm-mm.
I have to say it was very pretty. I didn't fall asleep once. I only skipped ahead 10 times. I watched it at normal speed.
That's a big deal for you.
that's
It's
a big
Very
deal.
big deal. I don't remember the last movie that you've watched at normal speed.
Yeah, because I certainly didn't watch Jaws at normal speed.
You're going in the jar.
Well, that's fair because of the Jaws effect. I also did not watch Jaws for a very long time on purpose. I'm not going to get into this because that's going to we don't have time to fill. So. If we need time to fill, I will recite my shark facts again, but I'm not going to. Sorry.
I would have liked to have seen more witchcraft.
Me too.
I do not think. Okay, so it was dancing at Lughnasa. There's no witch. There's no magic. There's no witchcraft. Pagan holiday, yes. A priest who is accepting of African traditions, great. No witch. No witchcraft. Itty bitty paganisms. Itty
Yeah.
bitty.
What did everybody do that celebrates Lughnasa, or Lammas? What did you do to celebrate? I'll share. I try to tap into like local harvest. So where we live, we have a peach farm, and we got 23 pounds of peaches, a bouquet of zinnias for $20. And so we celebrated with peach cobbler and zinnias on the table. I always feed our land at that time because of the land spirits, and it just feels like the right time to me. So that's what I did to celebrate. I'd want to know if anybody else did anything
I
fun.
fertilized my plants and I ate some plums.
Yum.
I mean, I would have done that anyway, but also the fact that it was Lughnasa, I can say that was why I was doing it, but really it was just It was just what I do.
Well, I sort of missed it because I was in New Orleans at an event. So it's a season, right? I could do this tomorrow. I could do this the next day. I ate crawfish and no. So, but I did go down and greet the river, which I do in New Orleans to the spirit of the river. So not quite the land, not quite the harvest, but at least tapping into the earth and nature.
Yeah,
I climbed down a mountain and saw my first moose.
Ooh.
A mom and a baby, two meese. Yeah. But that was not, I don't celebrate anything, so that just happened to line up.
I don't really celebrate Lammas. Like Lammas I celebrate the second and the third harvest, but the first harvest, I mean, I've taught the Wheel of the Year for years. I just feel like it's a little bit, there's too many, coming from too many factions putting onto it that feels a little bit made up to me, that it just, to me, it's just summer. Like this is the height of summer, like the beautiful long days and whatever, even though I know that we've gone past the solstice. But I always start the harvest at the autumn equinox. And then, the last harvest is at Samhain.
All right. So we have one thing left to do. No, Jason. We already had Jason. But it is time to vote. Grab your wands or your chickens or your roosters or whatever you.
I'm going to have to say no.
Okay, Richard-Lael and myself are almost straight up. We are almost erect. Not quite, but we are headed towards the top. We've got a real middle of the way for Scarlett and big fat downs for Jenny and Courtney. Okay, so what we do need to hear of is all of you in the chat room. Did you watch it? Or if you didn't watch it, or how are you being influenced by all of us who did watch it? Wands down.
I would like to say Tom Wright has made an excellent point that there were no dancing llamas in the movie, and maybe that would have helped.
It would absolutely have helped.
Solved it, Tom. Solved it.
Yep. I'm giving it this because it was beautifully shot. I'll give it that. Like,
and well acted.
It was well acted. It was beautifully shot, so I can't give it a total thumbs down. But yeah, it was a snooze fest. That's for sure.
But I wouldn't watch it again. And that's usually when I vote. That's what I think. Would I watch it again?
No, I would never watch it again. So for that, it was boring. Yes, beautifully shot, beautifully acted.
Yes.
See, and that's where you get this.
Pretty good soundtrack or like score. I liked the music.
Unless you watched the one that I started watching.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, what
I want Richard-Lael's impression of bagpipes to overlay my bog drowning, and then I can die happy.
Yeah. We just made a film right now. Let's make a film.
Solved it, and it would be better than that. Great.
There you go.
And with dancing llamas in the background.
I was just saying, there's everything you need, all the drama.
A bog shark.
Oh my God, a bog shark.
And not a single shark in this movie.
No, not in this movie, but in our movie, in the bog shark movie.
Yes.
With Richard-Lael voicing the bagpipes. So, I mean, we're gonna swap this. That's gonna make and then make $21 million. Obviously.
Absolutely.
That's a hit.
And that bog shark better be prehistoric looking.
Yes.
Better be.
Obviously. But it's like a mossy, like
absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
That is it. All right. Anybody remember what we're doing next week?
Mother of Flies.
Mother of Flies. Okay, Mother of Flies. Do we know what year it is, or there's only one
It
Mother?
came out this year.
This year. Okay.
Or last
New movie.
Mother of Flies is akin to Lord of the Flies. Just so you know, it's Lord and the Lady. It has to be, I'm sure.
For sure.
And I was told it's an Addams Family flick, but it's not ADDAMS, so I probably won't enjoy it.
It's not yours.
No, I think you.
And
I think you'll enjoy this.
We'll see how fast he wants it.
It is streaming free.
Let's always check that
so
from now on.
I don't have to be. Well, I did check it, and it did not tell me that it was on Roku. And I have a Roku TV. So
Yeah, I didn't tell me. I had Roku, and I
impressed.
didn't know it was.
It was someone in my coven. She's like, it's free on Roku. I was like, thank you, friend.
Excuse me.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
what?
That sounded like the rainbow.
Mother of Flies next week.
I
Everybody.
love this film. Look, it's Toby Poser. This film's great. I went to the premiere. It's fantastic.
Okay.
So it's better than this one.
It'll be good. So,
Yes.
all right. So while we're still, and we have a few minutes, does anybody have anything coming up that they want to talk about? Karen,
I do.
Go, Jenny Seabound.
I just wanted to share that I have a podcast with Granddaughter Crow here on YouTube. We premiere every Saturday, and it's called Believing and Beyond. And we interview different creators, and we have Marcella Kroll this Saturday, and she made like a really cool Egyptian-inspired oracle deck. And we kept having these really weird moments where we were pulling like the same card on air. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yay.
That's very cool.
Anybody else?
I just put up a self-paced creative writing course that has to do with esoteric principles called Witching the Art of Words, which I'm really excited about. That took me months to do. And I've also got the esoteric salon, The Forbidden Pantheon, which I'm teaching Saturday at 10:30 on Zoom, we're doing Circe this week.
Beautiful. Anybody else?
I am easy to find. I have nothing really going on excepting for I have seances here in my home. I have tarot readings here in my home, or also at the shop down in the quarter. If you happen to find yourself in New Orleans and are looking for something to do, I do have something coming up actually in October. I'm going to start advertising now, middle of October. I'll have all the information later on. I'm going to have a tea party for people, and it is ticketed. You know, it's limited, so my house is not a big house. It looks big in pictures, but in person, it is not a huge house. So it is. Thank you. It is. It does make me very happy. It's nice and gloomy. So you know, if you are around in October, you can come and see me in my home for tea. Otherwise, you can come by for a seance, and I also serve tea in my home. We spill the tea for the spirits, I like to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so fun.
And Courtney, anything other than raising many, many, many dragons?
Yeah, I'm exhausted from the amount of training that I have to do, but that's what I'm doing currently, is trying to unpack and trying to also tame them all. And but in early October, Patti, you're coming. We have Mass Paracon, and I will be there. So we can start talking about that. That's in Taunton, Mass, and it'll be so much fun. And you can come and say hi to us and whatever, and tell us your favorite movies, and hope that I don't grow teeth and bite you. So
She's working on it.
maybe I'll bring my jar with me so that I can put people's
That's
names
good.
in.
Thank you. All right. For me, anybody in Southern California, I am really excited. I'm going to be doing Midsummer Scream, which is, I think, billed as the largest horror convention in the country. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's like Comic-Con, but for horror. And I'm going to be working with the equally spooky and fabulous Winchester Mystery House. I'm going to be at their table. I'm doing book signings, several a day. And Midsummer Scream has hired me to do 2 seances for Midsummer Scream and Winchester. Winchester is bringing some of their haunted objects from the Winchester Mystery House. We sold out the first one quick. We're doing a second one. So that's this weekend in Long Beach. We'll be right next door to the Haunted Queen Mary. It's going to be great. And then I've got all sorts of other fun things. It's that kind of summer. And then a couple of weeks, I'm headed up to Virginia City, again, super haunted city, doing a haunted doll tea party. Yeah, we've done many spooky things together, Richard-Lael. Haunted doll tea parties, paranormal investigations, all sorts of exclusive stuff at the equally haunted Mackey Mansion. And then it just gets busy from there. On the weekend of mid-September, 18th and 19th, I'm going to be 2 big events in one weekend, all in Pennsylvania. I'm doing Underworld Culture Convention, gounderworld.com. I'm doing seances at haunted train stations, teaching a couple of classes, haunted doll classes, jumping in my car, driving to Penhurst Asylum and doing a Ghost Adventures thing that you guys can do with us, with Aaron and Jay and Lauren from Ghost Adventures and myself. And then I'm from 2 p.m. till 3 a.m. And then I'm jumping in my car, driving back to Scranton to finish up more workshops. I've never done 2 huge events in one weekend. I am working on that cloning thing. I'm going to tape my beautiful Black Phillip. And again, then it gets busy. So you guys, all of you, like us and follow us. Our social media pages, it means a lot to follow the Witches Movie Coven. Follow us individually, Jenny and Scarlett and Courtney and Richard-Lael and of course Jason and Heather and myself. Of course, as a group, we all have individual websites. Please go visit us. Most of us have books. Get our books. And just find your magic. Show us the love because we love you guys. We love you guys. Oh yeah, Ghostlight Nat. Thank you, Tabitha. She's mine. Says she is my magical Tabitha. I wouldn't know where I was ever with not for Tabitha. One of my favorite things I'm doing right away, right in LA, because I rarely get to do things. I'm doing anything with, you guys might have heard of her, the Pythian Priestess, my friend Ashley Ryan, big TikToker, big social media girl, works with Sam and Colby all the time. We are doing our first very immersive at 2 theaters in one night. Half of it, because what we have in common is we're both super witchy girls and we're both super paranormal girls, and we're combining them in one evening. The first half of the evening is in your typical little Hollywood black box theater that's super haunted, as most of them are, doing witchy ritual and spell casting. People come in, you don't have to know what you're doing or witchy, and we're going to do that. And then we're going to cross the street to another super haunted little theater that's a little more magical looking and doing a complete paranormal investigation. So you guys get witchy stuff. I was going to say the wrong word. Witchy stuff and
My, we're all swearing today.
Started using naughty words.
That was me.
I blame her completely. No. So yeah, all sorts of fun stuff, you guys. So like us, follow us, say hey. And more than anything, we want to thank you guys. Again, Tabitha for running our chat room and keeping us all in line. And for all of you, we like your votes. We like your comments. We're watching them. We can't comment on all of them. Rob puts up a lot, but we really appreciate them and they will be there forever. So thank you. Check out my Witching Hour podcast. New one drops every Monday. I do not believe I have missed a single week in almost 7 years.
Wow.
Check out a school. Come see Richard-Lael. Come see myself at our University Magicus. The world's most affordable spirituality and magic and occult school where you can get classes for $20 or less. Hello, we're on our way. I always say that. It's supposed to be on silent. Nothing in my house is silent. Not my dog, not my cat. Anyways, and as Richard-Lael so beautiful pointed out, you could look like us, you could match us, you could have his face on your bed at mysterycontrol.com. So now that we've filled you up with everything and we still have a minute to spare.
Yeah, we went over a little bit.
We did, so we could end up.
I'm so done talking about this movie.
She wants to go home and play with her snakes.
It's sad. I'm sad that Heather wasn't here because it was her pick, and I'm sure she had so many cool facts to share and so many things. And I was doing research, but I wasn't all that invested, to be honest. You know, I'm like,
I looked too, and there wasn't that much research. I hate to say.
It wasn't.
No.
Yeah, it was like it was a play, and it did poorly in theater, and I was like, okay.
And thank you guys all for your comments. Thank you, Coven. You guys, you are in our Coven. Yes, indeed you are. All of you in the chat room. So let everybody know you are part of the Witches Movie Coven. And we have one more thing to do. Should we do it with an Irish accent?
You
I
can.
think we should all do instead of the cackle.
Okay.
Let's do the tribute to the YouTube version that I saw
man.
of that.
Yes,
I'm locked in. I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Or the YouTube version of bagpipes. 1, 2, 3.